Light novels that got cancelled, how do you guys feel about them? I just wanted to ask this because as I've been reviewing titles for Yen Press, I've been noticing a lot more titles that, well, they're getting picked up for the West and there is just no ending to them. Or they've been cancelled midway. And I just want your guys' opinion on them because there's been a lot that I've actually really getting into and then it's just been kind of like, oh, no more volumes. And this isn't necessarily ones where they've been sold to us as a single volume. For example, I recently read In My Seventh Life, I Met a Monster Princess. Now this doesn't say volume 1, it doesn't say that there's more than one volume, but it's pretty apparent that there's just one thing and done. Now, to give a little bit of a synopsis with this one, this is about a young man who, in his 7th life, he's died multiple times, he meets this vampire girl. And there's a revenge plot, and it's all built up, and, well, towards the end, it becomes pretty apparent that the story is not going to get finished. And I was thinking, oh, you know what, they haven't said that there's going to be more than one volume, but it kind of seems like there's more to it. In fact, this story pretty much cut itself off at a certain point and just kind of went, oh yeah, this is a little bit of a stop here, but there might be more. And I was kind of like, yeah, I don't know how I feel about that. I was really invested in this title and it came at a huge disappointment that it wasn't finished. And if I'm perfectly honest, there are plenty, and I mean plenty, of great titles. For example, Tatami Galaxy, 3 Days of Happiness, Tunnel of Summer, just to name a few that are absolutely fantastic in their own right and are at only one volume. And I feel like it's a bit of a pitfall that some authors seem to be kind of jumping into, because they seem to be building up and writing with the intention of this being an ongoing series and then just dropping things. Another title that really upset me recently was Looks Are All You Need. Now this one I really hyped up as one of my absolute favourite titles of 2023. It's about a young girl who goes to this school for gifted children, and she has her own gift of being an absolutely fantastic singer, but she, on the out kind of things, she doesn't really look like it. She doesn't look the part, she doesn't look like a superstar, and is pretty much chastised and outcast for that. It was a fantastic read and was one that I really got into. However, recently the author has announced that as of volume 2, there's going to be no more. And I'm going to be honest, I was really sad about it. Now, I held off on buying volume 2 just to wait for volume 3 to come out, but I was really good that this one, which actually had a ton of potential compared to a lot, and I mean there's a lot of absolute slop out there which are going for 10 plus volumes. I was really upset to see this one go. And has it retrospectively ruined things for me? No, but I'd be a lot more hesitant to buy volume 2 for it, knowing that there's going to be no more, and it's probably going to drop in the middle of something. Now, we do have other titles which kind of have the free rule, where the 3 volumes come out and then kind of nothing more. And some authors can wrap things up in that aspect. Another example of this is the Unimplemented Overlords. Now, this one was one that I reviewed recently on the channel, and it was pretty apparent when I looked at things there was 3 volumes. I got the impression that it had been cancelled, but if I'm honest, there was a lot of great content in here. However, I did get the impression that the author was setting things up just to kind of not finish things, which shocked me a little bit, but I really enjoyed it. And I read the subsequent volumes, and very good series. Does it end as much as I wanted to? No, but I still had a really good time with it, and I'm glad that I still managed to push through. Another good example is the Vending Machine Isekai. Now, I think this is the one that's probably the most well known in terms of cancelled light novels. Reborn as a Vending Machine, I Now Wander the Dungeon got an anime about 2 years ago now, And it was a fantastic title. It was unique, but it took an absolute absurd premise and ran with it for great results. It seems that there's going to be no more of that, which is a huge shame, but the author lives on with other titles such as NPCs, Seem Too Real, and the Konosuba spin-offs. And I don't know, it's one of those things that I'm really happy that I read Vending Machine. It was an early light novel for me, but it still remains one of my favourite ones. It's an absurd premise of a guy getting reborn as a vending machine, but it works. It absolutely makes the world work for it. But it's seemingly cancelled, and I feel like a lot of people these days are just not even bothering to even try them. There's a lot of great titles out there that people just aren't willing to give a shot because they're cancelled. But I'm going to implore you guys, and I'm going to ask you guys, because I think you guys are probably going to have a similar opinion to me. Why do you not check out cancelled titles? And I'm going to assume that it's a similar feeling as that. Why give all of that investment in a title that's never going to end? But the other question is going to be, what if, God forbid, the author of ReZero passes away? That's now into like 40, nearly 50 volumes. So what happens if he passes away without that getting finished? Would you all just drop ReZero, knowing that it's never going to end? Or would you still kind of keep with it? Because I feel like a lot more critical analysis comes on titles that never really had a chance to flourish. For example, that Monster Princess Vampire one didn't really have a chance to flourish. But it wasn't bad, it wasn't terrible. But I feel like a lot more people are going to be more critical of that being cancelled than, say, for God forbid, ReZero being cancelled 40 volumes in and never getting an ending. Berserk is another one that, unfortunately, is never going to end, or at least properly. But that doesn't seem to have the same stigma around something that was 3 volumes in. I'm perfectly honest, I'd rather read a 3-volume title or 1-volume title that is somewhat decent, has an interesting premise, but unfortunately was cancelled, than read something that gets 30 volumes in and gets cancelled. Overlord is another one where the author has pretty much stated that they don't really want to be doing this anymore, and Overlord's a beloved title for me. And is it going to end well, or is it going to be kind of ended early or just cancelled? I mean, the author is going to be hopefully doing everything they want to do, but will they? Will it come out well? We've seen titles that have ended, Spider Isekai for example, where it was beloved, and by the time it ended, people really did not like the ending for that one, which kind of puts people off recommending it. Well, I just want your guys' opinion. Would you try a cancelled series after 3 volumes, knowing that it's unfinished? Or would you just give it a shot and hopefully we'll see the best? But that's just my opinion. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, and I'll see you on the next page.